Happy Tuesday, everyone. This is Crypto and Coffee with the Trading Bros. I'm your host, Clutch Crypto.
Old Dick over there. And I'm Baby Wellington. What's going on, people?
All right, guys, we're going to dive right into the charts. New York session just opened.
Most definitely. So we have, of course, a pump, just as we didn't predict. No, just kidding. We after we broke out of that zone. After this is the we'll go
Oh,
back to the
man, look at that,
daily.
yeah.
After we broke through, man, we just been going straight up, and so we've had some good volume candles on the daily, which would suggest that we're going to continue to move up. We're at this peak here that we stopped right before that peak earlier. We've broken out of this channel and we're almost to this the original daily trend line that was drawn after this drop and then this drop here. And then we just redrew this trend line. Only reason drawn is because people trade off of it, as you can tell. Boom, boom, boom. Bounced off of it 3 times. And here we go, breaking out from the 200 on the daily. If we look at the hourly, uh, you're gonna see the kind of the same things. My computer's been giving me a little trouble this morning. At least I think it's the internet. So we broke this peak coming out. Um, as you can see, we broke through this peak with a vector candle with some volume to get through this area. And with that, what I would anticipate, because we're still on this trend line here, is for us to retrace to the trend line or to that peak, and then at that point make a decision whether it's going to continue to move back up, which I think in all likelihood it probably will. Well, I don't know. I'm not going to say that because we do have a lot of. I mean, we talked about this yesterday. We have a lot of news that's coming out, but we'll have to see what happens when it comes back and retraces off of this, similar to this retrace here that we had yesterday, moving up, retracing, at least getting back to the daily open, potentially, and then seeing where we can go. It's really going to depend on where traders are at, overall, whether or not, the shorts are tired of shorting. And, so far, nobody's tired yet. But you can see we're retracing back to these lines. What I've have figured out is sometimes they'll pump up, they'll hold up here, they'll bring the 50 EMA up. Here, what it's done is it's actually come down to the 50 EMA. This is the 5 minute, so this is a smaller time frame. But the fact that we keep coming down and touching that 50 so often, and it's just not holding and bringing the 50 back up, does tell me that retrace is maybe in the cards overall. So that is kind of the charts. Dick, you got any comments on the charts?
We do have a, CME gap. Oh, let me slide over here. That is still currently sitting at 31.24 that we didn't close from Friday's close last week. So normally what happens there is we do retrace back down into that area before the end of the week. I've seen this happen like the last hour on of the week on Friday. So your retrace that you are talking about, I do feel like we will see that this week. The big deal is it's not really a matter of if, but more so
When?
a matter of when.
When are we going to get that retrace? But the other area that we have to consider is this area up here, which we do have some, if we slide over or go to a larger time frame, there's some vector candles, high volume candles that we tend to come back to. It's marked. Let's just take my word for it. It's over there. It's marked. And so potentially, getting up into this zone, we've got a breaking of this trend line coming into this zone. That's where I could see that we could break above here. But man, we're gonna get a lot of shorts, I think, that come in on this area. When you come into areas like this, you're gonna start seeing vectors because you're either gonna get folks that are breaking out from this trend line or are shorting from this trend line in order to anticipate a retrace. And so, the more folks that decide that they want to short, the more liquidity there is up there. So it may tap up here and maybe give another push just to make some room before it comes back down, because we have had a lot of longs that have built up in the area. If we go to things that we like to look at on Coin Analyze, we've got positivity across the board except for OKEX. And this changes pretty rapidly, but does give somewhat of an indication of where the sentiment is. This is actually a good thing for a retrace, in that there's less shorts that are out there. There's more longs than shorts, relative to that. OI really hasn't changed. We've been at 7.7 billion for yesterday. We're kind of floating around at 7.6. We had a bunch of options that expired, and so those have revamped. So yesterday this was down like 10%. Today it's back up to 1.1 billion. We can look at calls and puts relative to that, but I can just tell you from looking at it, most of the open interest that's available is on calls, which means that people think the price is going to go up. If we go down a little bit more, I'm not going to wait on this because my computer, I think the internet's running slow today, so I had a little bit of a problem early. We'll just hop over the spot pricing. NASDAQ is up. So we're up early on in the session. Again, we watch this every day. This can change. This can change. But just overall, we've got good markup to begin with. Gold's down, which this is a correlation, right? So when gold's down, market's risk on is up. Oil is starting to come back up. And, of course, Bitcoin, along with Ethereum that we talked about, is moving to the upside as well. We talk about this as yesterday, but we do have some news coming out. So today is Tuesday, so anticipate, we've got the housing, which actually came out. So prices are up on houses. We had 18.9, now it's 19.2 year on year. The national price index is going up. Also reading a couple of reports about mortgages, that mortgage variable rates have increased faster than expected. And so some of these other numbers that are coming out, as we'll see, is, consumer confidence, job openings, things of that nature. So again, the push that we're having right now could be a liquidity grab before they decide to, take profit and retrace, just a little bit. So Wednesday, ADP employment report, very important report. Corporate profits, here's all your Q4 numbers that are coming in. So this is kind of your scorecard for Q4, and which will lead into Q1 numbers. And so all this stuff at the end of the week, just, a lot of news coming in. And when you see the market pump before news, they generally dump after.
Right?
Yeah, that's just what we've seen. If we look at exo charts, but this is over a period of time. So I've combined, this is in the last 10 hours of data on the TPO. So we're way up here in this value area, which would indicate that this generally pushes up here, but this would indicate that because this move has been so fast, POC has still remained down at 25.78. So that's pretty unbelievable. But because this move has been so quick, we just have these large, low volume nodes that are here, which they generally try to come back to fill these particular areas back up, as far as order wise. And then they come back to the means, which would be, kind of this area down here. So not saying that we're going to get here anytime soon, but the point of control is pretty down.
Yeah, man, that's almost $1,000.
I know, but we went up like 1,000, almost $1,000 so quick, like in a week and a half. It's been crazy. Yeah. The market has responded to the negative news. They responded positively to get people on board, to go against the narrative. And as soon as people get positive, Bojuka. I know that's not a technical word, but you know, it's Bayuka. So let's see what we got going on high block,
Everything else. Let's
everything
check
else,
it out.
liquidations. Liquidity runs the market.
Check it out. Slide this over here. This is High Block Capital ETH chart on Binance. As you can see, we are continuing to go up in the cumulative liquidation levels delta. We're up at 8.4 billion. We were around
When's the last time you've seen it that high?
It's been a minute. It's been a long minute before since I've seen it this high. And as you can see, though, we just continue. We're just continuing up. We're just continuing to add some short liquidations above us, and they're just continuing onward with this. When's it going to stop? I mean, I don't really know yet at this point. Let's zoom in real quick, though. As you can see. We're starting to form a whole cluster of longs showing up here.
Wow. Look at all those longs that came on board.
Right here. So, I mean, you would expect some retracements starting to happen soon. But again, this market right now, I mean, I think they're really trying to induce OI, really trying to get people on board. So, they may go ahead and keep pumping this up, and like we mentioned earlier this morning, no one's really excited yet. So until we start seeing people getting excited, and those people that we haven't heard from in a while start texting, "Oh, we're going to the moon," I'm gonna say
the
we're
Moon
gonna
Boys are
continue
still in
to
the
go
closet.
up.
Yeah, the Moon Boys are still in the closet, man. They haven't come out yet. They're afraid.
Yeah. So this is. Bookmap. This is ETH with Binance chart. As you can see, our CBD is just, we were in the 30,000s this time yesterday on the show. As you can see, we're continuing to move up. Looks like New York's opening with a little bit of a stop hunt, and we're having a small retrace right here. But again, I don't think this is going to be very long-lived. This is maybe just a small clear out, so they can continue to move upward. As far as orders go to the upside, as you can see, 3,500, we have 1,600 orders, and we were looking in areas anywhere from 35 to 38 on the chart a while ago, right?
Right.
So 36. 100 has about 900 orders in there. We'll just go ahead. We have another heavy area kind of at 3,700, and I assume we'll probably have another heavy area up here at 3,800. Yeah, 700 orders. So basically, about every $100, there's a little bit of a wall that we're going to have to be, pushed through. Downside real quick, let's check this out, see if we see anything significant as far as the downside goes. Ooh, it's, really nothing serious. We got 3,000, we got 2,300 orders, 2,800, which is 4,000 orders, 2,400, 2,200 orders, and 2,000's got 5,400 orders. And 4,400's got 5,400 orders. So, as you can see, it's a nice large spread out here today. And again, we're kind of just going back and forth right now, but as you can see, they're trying to pull some price down for the short term. Will that continue? I don't think so. I think we're going to continue to see movements to the upside today. And that's all I got.
So when's the retrace? You think we'll get out? I mean, we've been pumping for so long. You think we'll get, I say for so long, it's only been 2 weeks. But when do you think they're gonna take the liquidity out of these longs, man?
I think we'll see a retrace down into the low 3,000s like we were talking about with the CME gap. I don't think that we're going to see anything catastrophic like we've been anticipating for quite some time. But again, we only have a few days left in the month, which will be first quarter close as well. So if you're going to see a big drop, I would expect it coming this week.
Yeah, well, it'll be a good. Maybe they've built up enough momentum. We'll see when it dips. If folks get on board and buy the dip, right? We're kind of in the opposite of the buy the dip, and then they bring it down, right? Is that people are fading the top, shorting the pumps, and it's continuing to go up. So the trend is definitely, I think with the war narrative, everybody's real negative on the macro, and so they're taking advantage of that liquidity out there. And so really what's going to happen is the narrative is going to have to change. People are going to have to see this as a positive thing and get on board with their liquidity from a bull standpoint. And then I think we and then I think they tear some ass up.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
So that's all I got.
That's all we have for today. We'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same place. Until then, 8.